Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. Right, Rome Open 2022, the Italian Open in Italy has definitely got underway. We've seen, of course, the big stars come out, and I thought it was a good opportunity to talk about a couple of things. First of all, of course, Nadal and Iga Swiatek both making winning starts anyway to the defense of their titles, their Rome titles. Nadal, of course, has won here 10 times. Iga Swiatek won here last year, double bageling Pliskova in the final, and Nadal, of course, beating Djokovic in Rome in 3 sets. So, look, I mean, it's been a very intriguing couple of days, and we've seen some upsets. And I'll quickly kind of touch upon some of the results as well before we get into how Nadal and Swiatek both look. So, in terms of the men's, I mean, just to say any, I guess, upsets. Rublev, of course, falling early on against Krajinovic in straight sets. Hurkacz lost to Goffin in straight sets as well. Both of them had looked pretty good and almost kind of knocking on the door to potentially going deep. And Rublev in my top 10 in my power rankings, Hurkacz is kind of hovering around. And a good win as well from Felix over Djokovic in the round of 32 match, the second round. Very, very good. And Casper Ruud coming through a very tight one against Van der Zandschulp, who's been in great form. And then Wednesday, not really a huge amount of upsets apart from the one big one for me, which was Giron from America, causing a massive upset for me and one of the best wins of his career over Schwartzman, 6-1, 7-6. And then Khachanov beating PCB in 3 sets as well, which was, to me, another big upset, to be fair. So Brooksby over Goffin could be seen as one, considering that Goffin's been in great form. Brooksby, for me, is a fantastic clay courter. But the way that Brooksby won, I mean, bageling and then beating on the tiebreaker, really impressive. Tsitsipas had a hard-fought 3-setter against Dimitrov, who's been in some pretty good form. And he's lost to Tsitsipas in the last 3 tournaments. So, yeah, the wall of Tsitsipas currently. But yeah, on to Nadal and Swiatek as well. And then we're going to touch upon Djokovic versus Wawrinka, which is an absolute blockbuster affair tomorrow or today, that depending on where you're watching this. And we'll touch upon that a little bit. Of course, it's, Wawrinka just come out from injury. Djokovic hasn't played many games, but I think Djokovic is going to be the overwhelming favourite. But it's just an interesting one to look into and talk about the dynamics, etc., and why, Wawrinka is so dangerous. But yeah, let's start with Rafa Nadal, of course. Played his second round match. Obviously, didn't have to play the first round, got a bye. He played John Isner, the big serving, big hitting American, and he definitely gave his best on his. I mean, he was really going for on the serve, especially on the ground strokes. I think for him, he would have been disappointed that his first serve percentage was only 55%. And then I think the win percentage on first and second serve at 50 and 58%, sorry, for John Isner, very low. Only the single ace for the American as well. Whereas Nadal, same first serve percentage, but 81% behind the first serve, 65% behind the second serve. So, that kind of, I think, tells a big story. And Nadal standing almost so far back, you can barely see him in the camera lens. It was just crazy. He was so far back, but it works for him. And against someone who serves as big as John, I can see why he does it. John Isner was actually the polar opposite. He was trying to step in, especially on the second serve, step in and be on the front foot. And I think he just ended up making a lot more unforced errors than maybe he would have liked. But he gave it a good go. Nadal just way too strong. Not the best clay court performance we will ever see from him, but a solid win nonetheless. And didn't seem to be having any issues moving, which seems to be a big question mark around kind of how he's moving and his foot, etc. So interesting one there. And then on the women's side, before we go on to Swiatek, of course, a couple of very interesting matches gone on where Kerber lost to Goff, really good win for Goff. Georgie got beaten by Tomljanovic, a walkover there though as well. Pavlyuchenkova lost to Leylah Fernandez, and that was the first round matches. And then the second round matches, or the first round, and I think, no second round matches, was just, bizarre. I mean, really bizarre, because Andreescu, of course, ended up beating Raducanu, got a walkover, but she played some fantastic tennis in the first set, 16 winners and 2 unforced errors. And then we had Roos beating Rogers in a massive upset. Alexandrova beat Stevens, which isn't a massive one to be fair. And yeah, Teichmann beating Paolini. Ostapenko went out early to Davis. And Brengel beating Kostyuk, which I thought was an upset because Brengel's not a bad player, but don't really expect her to be beating Kostyuk, to be fair. And then, of course, today, or the day just gone, Daniel Collins really impressively beating Simona Halep 7-6, 6-3. She has struggled for a bit of form recently, so it's good to see her finally getting back into the groove of things over a very, very good win over Simona Halep, of course, with Patrick Mouratoglou in her corner. And she's looked rejuvenated, so that will be a massive setback for her. But she had a tough opponent. She needs a good draw, I think, in Roland Garros, then she could potentially go deep for me. Badosa won. Muguruza, another early exit for her at a tournament. I don't know what's going on with her. I know she's had injuries and niggles anyway, but she's still not 100%. She should be resting. Yeah, our hopes for Roland Garros are not very high at the moment. She's just in terrible form. Jabeur won in straight sets, and Swiatek, we'll get onto in a second, bageled Roos in the second set, won the first 6-3. Andrescu beat Paris Diaz in straights. We've got Sakari did the same, Goff, Azarenka, and then, yeah, I guess two of the big upsets, Anisimova beating Bencic in straight sets. She's been in great form. She's in really good form this year, the American. So this could be her kind of breakthrough year potentially. I know she's already made a couple of semi-finals of Grand Slams, but I have a feeling she might do something big this year, but we'll see. Pliskova losing to Teichmann in 3 sets. I was so tempted to go for Teichmann in my bracket, and I chose against it because I thought Pliskova's got a really good record in Rome. I know she got double bageled last year in the final, but she still made the final. She let me down. Teichmann completely destroying her in the end anyway, in that third set. But it was a tight affair, of course, 3 sets, but she'll be disappointed to lose to unseeded player. And although Teichmann did do really well last week in Madrid, Sabalenka beating Zhang in straight sets and bageling her in the second. Then Martic beating Kontaveit, the number 5 in the world, just struggling to string together some wins at the moment. But yeah, on Swiatek, looked really strong. I mean, absolutely no signs of any type of injury, and also moving extremely well. Didn't seem like she was rusty either, given she's had a week off. Yeah, she just looks so good. I mean, this title seems like it's right for the taking, and probably right for the taking for Swiatek, to be frank. She's just playing some really, really good tennis. I mean, it was another tidy display, I think. She didn't have to play her best. And for me, I think generally her level has been so good over a number of months. It barely ever dips. And she's got that level of consistency, which is fantastic. And the forehand at times looked like it might break down, and technically didn't look the best. I think she's dispelled any concerns about that, and it's working a treat. She's able to dictate with it, and the backhand has always been solid. And she's even coming forward at times as well. Her tennis IQ continues to grow and astound people, and it's great to see her back on court and winning. Okay, lastly, then let's touch upon Djokovic versus Wawrinka. So this is going to be, well, their 26th meeting. Djokovic is leading the head-to-head 19-6. In saying that, though, they haven't played since 2019, and they have only played 2 matches since 2016. Interestingly, so 2016 US Open final, Wawrinka beat Djokovic in 4 sets, and then at the US Open again, but this was 3 years later in 2019 in the round of 16. Wawrinka beat Djokovic as well. He won the first 2 sets, to be fair, Wawrinka, and then Djokovic retired. So before that, I mean, Djokovic dominated, as you can tell by the head-to-head, but Wawrinka's always been a pretty tough opponent for Novak anyway. Of course, he lost 2 Grand Slam finals to him, Roland Garros in 2015 as well. I have to say, if Wawrinka can just turn back the clock a little bit, you just never know. You really do never know. Of course, that is that fantastic one-hander as well. He's able to utilize Wawrinka. He's so much power behind it. Forehand and backhand is just, a pleasure to watch when it's on. And Then the serve as well, I think, is something that's never been a huge weapon, but he's kind of improved over the years. And the returning has always been pretty solid as well. So I think Wawrinka, for me, if he's on his A game, he's able to channel some of that, I guess, past glory from, some incredible matches that he's played against Novak. Then you just never know. You never know. But Djokovic, a huge favourite. I think Wawrinka is going to have to find a balance and strike a balance between aggression and I think he's got to strike a balance between aggression for one and also not making a lot of unforced errors. And I think there has to be somewhere or some way to combine those two. And I think that is, to be fair, what a lot of players search for. So I'm saying it as if it's such an easy thing to do, but I'm sure he will be absolutely crunching the one hand of Wawrinka, one of the best one-handers on tour, in my opinion, probably the best. Yeah, and Djokovic leads the head-to-head, but he's always had trouble with powerful baseliners who are able to have kind of some type of variety in their game. And I think, well, when I say always, I mean against this specific player instead of Wawrinka, despite the head-to-head, the last couple of displays, there's a reason why he's lost, and especially in the big finals, I think Wawrinka has just been a lot calmer and cooler in those moments, and I guess he wouldn't have been expected to win as well. So that definitely takes a weight off your shoulders, and I think for him, I think it's a long way back, but he will be back. He will be back firing. But for me, Djokovic in straight sets, I just can't see how Wawrinka beats Djokovic. He's not moving at an elite level at the moment. For me, Wawrinka, the ground strokes are starting to really pop, which is great, but the consistency isn't there quite just yet. So, have to go with Djokovic in straight sets. But in saying that, you just never know. I'm sure we will see some flashes of some great tennis, at least, if not for the whole match. Right, thank you very much, guys, as well, for tuning in. Do appreciate it. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you're listening or watching on a podcast platform, you can leave a rating, review, or if you really want to as well, you can make sure you subscribe as well. Do come over to the YouTube channel as well, subscribe here, like the video, etc. Just get involved. Get involved, everyone. Tell your friends. We are growing. We are currently number 3 in the Canadian podcast charts. Not bad. Not as high in the UK ones, about 30. But either way, it's great to have you guys listening and watching. Appreciate it. We also do have a membership option now to support the channel. It really does help us out if you join and become a member. There's some cool perks as well. Do check it out. Any questions, do let me know. Thanks very much, guys. Stay safe and well, and we'll see you on